Good morning, children. Today I am going to start a new chapter, chapter 7, Respiration in Organisms. You already know that all living organisms require energy to perform different biological activities. This energy is obtained from the food that is consumed by an organism. A process called respiration releases this energy from the food and helps the organism to perform its biological activities. So, respiration is the name of the general process in which organisms convert sugars into biochemical energy using oxygen. The process occurs in all organisms, including animals, plants, fungi, and bacteria. During respiration, energy is produced. This energy is then used in different processes necessary to support life. In addition to producing energy, respiration also produces carbon dioxide and water as waste products. Respiration involves an exchange of gases. Oxygen is used in body and carbon dioxide is released from the lungs. In plants, the processes of respiration as well as photosynthesis occur simultaneously during the day. Plants take in oxygen and carbon dioxide respectively for these two processes. However, photosynthesis does not occur in the absence of light. At night, only respiration takes place in the plants. This means that during night, oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is released by plants. Oxygen reaches all the cells of the body when we breathe. In the body cells, oxygen combines with the absorbed food with the help of enzymes. As a result, energy and carbon dioxide are produced. This process that releases energy in the cells is known as cellular respiration. So, cellular respiration is the process in which cells produce the energy they need to stay alive. During cellular respiration, cells use oxygen to break down the sugar or glucose to produce energy. The body gets its usable energy for various life processes through the processes of breathing and cellular respiration. Do you know we breathe about 5,000 times every day? The lung on the left side of our body is slightly smaller than the lung on the right side. The extra space on the left side leaves a space for the heart to work efficiently without being disturbed by the surrounding organs. Next, type of respiration. There are two types of respiration: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is the release of energy from glucose in the presence of oxygen. Strictly speaking, aerobic means in air. However, it is the oxygen in the air which is necessary for aerobic respiration. An organism is described as aerobic if it requires oxygen in order to survive. Here is given in this figure the types of respiration. You can see glucose is just in form of food. anaerobic respiration without the use of oxygen, aerobic respiration with the use of oxygen, and anaerobic respiration in the absence of oxygen. The end products are formed in aerobic respiration just like alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. Aerobic respiration, carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Anaerobic respiration, lactic acid plus energy. Next, anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration takes place in the absence of air. Here, oxygen is not used for the release of energy from food molecules such as glucose. An organism is described as an anaerobic organism when it does not require oxygen to produce energy. Anaerobic respiration that takes place in yeast is put to commercial use for the production of alcoholic beverages. It is also useful for making breads and for fermenting the idli and dosa batter. This type of anaerobic respiration is also called fermentation. Another type of anaerobic respiration can take place in human muscle cells when enough oxygen is not available. Here is shown an activity to show anaerobic respiration in yeast. You can see in this figure, take a conical flask, add some lukewarm water in which a teaspoon of sugar has been dissolved. Add a few granules of dry yeast to this solution. Seal the conical flask with a cork. Keep it at room temperature and observe this setup after 3-4 days. What do you observe? Bubbles are observed in the solution that move up to the surface to form a froth. An alcoholic smell comes from the flask when you remove the cork. If a lighted matchstick is brought close to the mouth of the flask, it will get extinguished, showing that the gas present in the flask is carbon dioxide. The yeast spores introduced in the flask have multiplied and are respiring anaerobically. Remember, the flask is sealed and oxygen content in it is limited. Do you know anaerobic respiration is useful in making alcoholic beverages and bakery items like bread and cakes? In plants, yeasts, and bacteria, anaerobic respiration results in the production of alcohol and carbon dioxide. This process is used in the brewing and baking industries. This process is also known as fermentation. Why do we get muscle cramps after heavy physical exercise? Human muscles can respire anaerobically. However, lactic acid is produced during this process and accumulates in the muscles. Because of this, the muscles cannot continue working for long. They get fatigued after some time, causing muscle cramps. Anaerobic respiration in humans is less efficient than aerobic respiration for releasing energy. This explains why humans can run faster in a short distance race, a sprint, than over long distances. When an athlete stops after a sprint, she has to breathe faster and deeper for some time to feel normal once again. This is to take in extra oxygen in order to break down the accumulated lactic acid on the top of the normal breakdown of sugar, that is a part of aerobic respiration. The body thus pays back the oxygen debt built up during the sprint. Activity 2, just you can see in this activity to show that respiration produce heat energy. Soak some gram seeds in water overnight. Allow them to germinate on moist cotton for 3-4 days. Deactivate half of the seeds by placing them in boiling water for 2-3 minutes. Place the live germinating seeds in one flask and the dead seeds in another flask. Inject a thermometer into each flask. Record the temperature and seal the flask with cotton wool. Record the temperature daily over the next 5 days. You will observe that there is no temperature change in the flask containing boiled dead seeds. However, in the other flask there is a steady rise in temperature each day. Thus, we find that only the living and respiring seeds can cause a rise in temperature. We can therefore conclude that respiration produces heat. In next class, I will discuss about respiration in plants. Thank you.